What's going on, everybody? David here. We are talking travel today, and I'm going to do a few different things. I apologize for coming out a little late today, but as you guys probably already knew, there's a couple football games on, and actually both football games went into overtime, so it kind of pushed me back just a little bit. I had to watch the games. I'm a pretty big football fan, so I wanted to get out and I wanted to watch the game, so that's why I didn't come on at 7. So if you do come in the chat, please let me know that you're here. How you doing, Seven? And just let me know where you're coming from, what state you're coming from, or what country you're coming from. It's kind of funny because there are people that are watching me from all over the world, which is really interesting, and always makes me envious of them because I want to go where they are and that kind of stuff. So we'll get started really quickly. I just want to make sure I have everything is dialed in correctly, and then we'll get going. Okay, so let's look at the chat real quick. Who do we have here? Washington, George, how you doing? Coming from Miami, and the RH32 coming from New York. Okay, and then Jeremy, how you guys all doing? We are going to talk today about the tiered structure, so tiered bonus, and I'm seeing a lot of these tiered bonus things coming out No, I shouldn't say recently. They've always been out there, but I think it's probably going to be more of a norm as opposed to we used to just see like a bonus of 50,000 points. Now we're seeing a bonus of up to 50,000 points or up to 60,000 points. So I think that travel cards they're starting to do some interesting things with it, with their bonus structure. And there were a few articles, I did a video about this last week, but there were a few articles that came out that were basically pretty much talking about how the banks are quote unquote losing money or not making the money that they thought they would make. Believe me, these banks are making money. So I think this is an attempt for them to kind of push people into using their cards more, which is understandable because that is how they will maximize their money. But like I said in the video that I posted last week, make better cards and people will use the cards. So that's kind of the way I feel on that. I'm just going to show you the Hyatt card today. There are some other cards out there that have the same tiered bonus, and I'll go over the card first. And I've done this in previous videos, but I'll just kind of go over the card just for those of you who don't know anything about the World of Hyatt card. I'll show you some of the benefits that the card offers, and then we'll get into a discussion. So if you guys have questions or you want to make some comments, please post in the chat, and then we'll just kind of go over what the card's all about, and we can talk about some other cards that have the same tiered structure. I just think it's interesting that they're doing this. I'm not opposed to it as long as that I'm in the mind frame of when I look to get a card, I'm not looking to just get a card, keep it to get the bonus, and then after that wait a few months and then either downgrade the card or cancel the card and then get another card. I don't do the churning stuff, so I am looking long term. So anytime I look to get a card, I'm focused on, will this card be good 2-3 years down the road? Am I still going to be able to get value out of that card? And if I feel that I'm not going to be able to get the value out of that card, in most situations I'm not going to get the card. There are a few situations if they just have a bonus, it's just a bonus you can't pass up, like 100,000 bonus points. If I can't pass it up, then I'm probably going to get the card and then see how I can maximize it in the future. And if I can't, then downgrade the card. But let me flip to a screen here, and then we'll go and we will look at the World of Hyatt card. And so what we'll do, we'll look at the card first, and then after that, then I'll answer some questions, and then we'll kind of do some dialogue there, and then we'll get into the kind of the tiered structure. Or actually, we'll look at the card first, we'll talk about the tiered structure, and then we'll get into questions. Okay, so first off, with the card, this is the World of Hyatt card. For those of you that don't know, World of Hyatt, it is a Chase card. So if you have Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Sapphire Reserve, if you're in the Ultimate Rewards program, if you have points there, you can transfer your points directly over to Hyatt. You can also get the World of Hyatt card, and you can accrue points on the card as well. So let's look at some of the benefits here. And the only reason I say, I make sure I let you guys know. So if you have a Chase Sapphire Reserve or Chase Sapphire Preferred and you get this card, well, you'll not only get points with the bonus structure on this card and you'll be able to earn points with this card, but you can also earn points and transfer them over to Hyatt. So I hope that all makes sense. So if you have a Chase Sapphire Preferred, it's a benefit to have this card because the points are kind of interchangeable. Now, you can't transfer the World of Hyatt points over to the Ultimate Rewards program, but you can do it the other way around. All right, so first off, looking at the card, and this used to have a bonus of 60,000 points. They just dropped the bonus down to 50,000. And back when it was a 60,000 point bonus, it was a tiered structure, but it was a little better than this one because the tiered structure was if you spend $3,000 within the first 3 months, then you will get 40,000 bonus points. Then if you spend an additional 3,000, then you'll get an extra 20,000 bonus points, giving you that 60,000 bonus points. This situation here is a little different because now you can earn up to 50,000 bonus points. You have to spend $3,000 within the first 3 months and you'll get 25,000 bonus points. And then if you spend an additional $3,000 within the first 6 months, so a total of $6,000 is what you need to spend, then you'll get the other 25,000 bonus points, giving you the overall 50,000 bonus points. So this is different. Like I said, in the past, I got this card before it was World of Hyatt, when it was just the Hyatt card, and I got 50,000 bonus points. Just right off the bat, all I had to spend is $3,000. Now you have to spend twice that much to get that same level of points. So yeah, it's interesting, and I'm sure this is going to be a trend, and you're going to see a lot of cards starting to do this more. There's cards that are doing it now, but I think they're hitting that point where they're really going to try to get you locked in for at least 6 months of spending with the card. Okay, so some of the other things here, the earn possibility. Actually, we didn't talk about the annual fee. Annual fee on this card, I believe it's $95. Let's see where it is here. It's $95. I don't see it on here, but yeah, it's a $95 annual fee. So the earn possibility on this card is not too bad. If you want to stay at Hyatt Properties, the earn possibility is pretty good because you're going to get 9 points for every dollar spent. Now they break it down this way. You're going to have to, you'll get 4 points for every dollar spent. That's when you're spending it at the hotel, at the Hyatt Hotel. Now you'll also get 5 points for every dollar spent if you're a World of Hyatt member. Now I would recommend, and I recommend this to everyone. I don't care if you want to stay at Hyatt's, Hilton's, Marriott's, whatever property, Best Western, wherever you want to stay, they usually will have some type of membership program. It's free to sign up. I would highly recommend doing that because once you do that, then you become a member. It's kind of like when you get the grocery. I don't even know if they still do it in some grocery stores, but you can get the little rewards card, and then every time you go make a purchase at the grocery store, you get points, and you can redeem those points and all that good stuff. So with hotels, it's the same way. Sign up for the program. It's free. That way, you'll be able to get points if you're staying there, even if you don't have a credit card. So I don't know, like if you don't know this, you don't need a credit card to get points. I can go to the Hyatt, not have a credit card, not have any credit cards at all. Go to Hyatt, stay there for one night, spend $100. And if I'm a part of their membership rewards program, then I will get points for that. And then over time, I can use those points for stays and stuff like that. So you don't necessarily have to have a credit card in order to get points. You can just get on their program. So if you are a part of their program, in this situation, you're going to get 5 points for every dollar spent. So that the total of 9 points for every dollar spent, and that's really good. I mean, that's a really good earn. You can't beat that when it comes to if I want to use other cards, Chase Sapphire Reserve, Chase Sapphire Preferred. I'm not going to be able to compete if I'm staying at a Hyatt property. I'm not going to be able to compete with that earn possibility. So that's good on that part. So that shows you if you do stay at Hyatt a lot and you have this card, there's no reason why you shouldn't be using this card for the transactions there. Okay, now you get 2 points for every dollar spent on transit, so commuting, things like that. I believe Well, it doesn't say Uber, but I'm thinking Uber would be on there, taxis would be on there. And then you get 2 points for every dollar spent at restaurants, cafes, and coffee shops. So these 2 points for every dollar spent, if you have a higher tier card, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you can get a little bit better than that at restaurants, 3 points for every dollar spent. So it really doesn't make sense to use this card. But if you have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can get 2 points for every dollar spent, so it's pretty much the same. My recommendation, if it's Chase Sapphire Preferred or World of Hyatt, and they both get you 2 points per dollar for every dollar spent, I recommend using the Chase Sapphire Preferred only because those points are more valuable because I can transfer them to Hyatt if I want to do that. I can transfer them to airline partners. I could transfer them to other hotel partners. So you just have more flexibility if you use the Chase Sapphire Preferred as opposed to the World of Hyatt card in this situation. Okay, so flights, you get two points for every dollar spent on flights, so that's not too bad. Then again, like I said, Chase Sapphire Preferred in this situation, it's better to use the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Chase Sapphire Reserve will get you 3 points for every dollar spent. Chase Sapphire Preferred will get you 2 points for every dollar spent, but those points are more valuable because they're more flexible. And when I say they're more flexible, and I'm talking, the way I'm talking, I don't know how much knowledge everyone has when it comes to points and all that, but the way that I look at it, it's better to use a card that has more flexibility. So if I'm putting all my points into the Ultimate Rewards program, then I can use all these different avenues to transfer my points to. If I'm putting all my points into the World of Hyatt program, to their point system, I can only use it with Hyatt. I can't transfer Hyatt points to the Ultimate Rewards program. I can't transfer Hyatt points to airline partners. So that's why it's a little more valuable. So if you're looking at, if they're both giving you 2 points per dollar, I'm gonna lean toward the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserve because I have more flexibility with that. So I hope that makes sense. And we can talk more about that in the chat after we're done here. Now, this is a pretty good one here. You get 2 points for every dollar spent, and that's at fitness clubs and gyms. So if you have a membership at a gym, this is a good opportunity for you to get 2 points for every dollar spent. In most situations, you're only going to get 1 point for every dollar spent with most other credit cards if you want to use your credit card to pay your membership. Okay, and then 1 point for every dollar spent on all other purchases. So that's pretty much the layout here. Now you get a free night every year, and getting that free night is one of the reasons why you probably want to just have this card anyway or have a hotel card, because most hotel cards will offer you a free night. And getting you that free night is, in most situations, it's going to be at least a $95 value. You can make it a $95 value just by going to some of the hotels. Most hotels are going to be at least $100 to stay, unless you're staying in, like if you're staying in Thailand, you might be able to get a better deal. But in most situations, you're going to spend at least $100 for that night. So that free night is good. And it's a category up to category 4, I believe. So, and there's some other info here that they're not showing on here. This is kind of a real bare bones here. But I do know, and you can quote me if I'm wrong, but if you spend every $5,000 that you spend, it gets you, it advances your tier by like, or advances your stays by like 2 or 3, something like that. So basically what they're saying is if you want to be like a elite member, so let's say they have the Discoverist, Explorist, Globalist. Globalist is their highest tier. So if you want to be like a frequent stay at the highest point, like their VIP, I guess you can call them, where you get room upgrades and things like that, then the more money you spend on this card, the more stays that you'll have. And the way that they work their whole program is depending on how many stays. Like if you want to be a globalist, you have to stay 60 nights every year. If you want to be an explorist, you have to stay 30 nights every year, and then on down the line. So this will help you. It'll give you a couple of stays, even though you're not actually staying there. If you're using the card, unless you hit that $5,000 mark, then you get an extra 2 stays, and then you hit another 5,000, you get another 2 stays, and you hit another 5,000, you get another 2 stays. So you can kind of reduce the amount of time that you have to stay on at a property in order to move up in that elite status. And then you also, I think if you spend $15,000, then you'll get an additional free night. So that's pretty nice too. So just if you want to maximize points, you're going to kind of look at what really benefits you. If you stay at Hyatt a lot already, you get those 9 points per dollar. That's a really good value. Some of the other values might not really, they might not really benefit you because the points aren't as flexible. But if I make a commitment to Hyatt, I can go ahead and, even if I'm in a situation where I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred and I have the World of Hyatt card, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm getting 2 points for every dollar spent at restaurants. If I'm really willing to make a commitment, I already know ahead of time, yes, I'm going to be staying at Hyatt here, Hyatt there, and I don't really need to transfer points. Although it's better to use a Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can still use the World of Hyatt card if you've already made that commitment. And in some situations, I've already booked different stays, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I can use this card because I know at some point I'm going to be using these points with Hyatt. So you can kind of think of it along those lines too. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now I want to talk just about the whole tier structure. I'm going to give you kind of my opinion, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's in the chat. But basically, the way that I see it, and I kind of already glossed over it, but I see more credit card companies doing this. And I always say this because it's not up to the credit card companies, and I think we get into we get into the mode where we're thinking, okay, well, the credit card companies are going to do what they want to do. The credit card companies are going to look at two things. They're going to look at what's profitable for them, and they're also going to look at what the customers want and what the customers do. Because if we don't respond to this, or if there are a lot of people that say, no, I'm not going to get this card, I'm going to get another card that's going to give me that 50,000 bonus points right off the bat, and I don't have to do this whole tiered thing, then they'll respond to that by giving you back what you want, giving you that 50,000 bonus points right off the bat, where you don't have to spend $6,000. You can only spend $3,000 within that first 3 months. Spend $3,000, get the 50,000 bonus points, as opposed to doing it the way they have it here, where you have to spend 3,000 here for 3 months and then 3,000 here, total of 6,000. So obviously, they want you to use the card. So I don't think it's a bad thing for me. Now, everyone's different. We all have different ways of doing things. This is bad for people who do like to churn cards, where they'll get a card and use it to get the bonus, and then just put the card aside and not ever use it again, or use it very sparingly after that. But for people like me, long term, this is not really going to affect me, because the cards that I get, I'm already thinking in my head, this is a card I'm going to have for a long time. So people who do want to churn cards, this is going to really affect them. And I think it's in most situations, it's going to keep them from really focusing on getting these cards. Now, they might go to get the other cards where you can just get the bonus right off the bat, but this will kind of work against those people who are churning cards. So in my opinion, it's not a horrible thing. What I don't want to happen, at least they're allowing us to spend $3,000, get 25,000 points. That 50,000 bonus points just puts you in such a higher category with things that you can do with those points, as opposed to just getting 25,000 bonus points. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. We just saw with the Amex Gold, they had it at 25,000, but they had all these different referral links out there where you can get 50,000 bonus points. And then now they've increased it, so now it's 35,000 points. That's their bonus. So that's not bad. I mean, we all want 50,000 bonus points, at least 50,000. That's kind of been the norm for so long that we're comfortable with that. But at least they're upping it a little bit. So some other different things that I'm thinking too is like, if they really want to keep people locked into these cards and keep people using the cards, they can do the free gift, which I've heard. The higher end cards, they'll give you like a free gift. They can also just kind of keep you locked in. So you're using the card and you get this free gift at the end of the year. or they can do like give you bonus points every year depending on thresholds. If you meet a certain threshold, so if you meet just like this card here has that additional free night if you spend $15,000. Well, why not give us a bonus at the end of the year if you spend a certain amount of money on the card in the end? Keep the 50,000 bonus points ultimately, so you can get that off the, right off the bat. But then in the future, if you're using the card, you're going to get an additional bonus. That's on top of all the earn that you get for that year. So just different things like that. I think that they can really maximize or have more tiers. Like every year have kind of a tier structure. So the first year you can hit those 2 tiers in the situation of the Hyatt card. You hit the 2 tiers, you get the 50,000 bonus points. Then the next year, give you a couple more tiers where you might not reach 50,000, but you can reach 25,000 by hitting 2 more tiers for the year. So just doing things like that would keep you interested in using the card. Another thing that the Citi does, Citibank, I have the Advantage card, and the only reason that I've kept this Advantage card for a couple of years is because every year they do like Citibank does. They want you to get a bank account. You can get a bank account, and if you do these certain requirements that they have, bill pay and things like that, then they will give you 50,000 bonus points toward your Advantage account. So I'm able to get 50,000 bonus points there. So it's kind of been keeping me interested. And now I don't know if I get rid of my Advantage card, the Citi Advantage card, if they'll stop offering me these, because I'll still have the Advantage account. I just won't have the credit card. I don't know how that all works. So I did keep the card for a couple of years because my thought is if I have points on my Advantage card and I fly on American Airlines, I'd like to have the free check bag and all that. So they kind of locked me in that way. So there's different ways to do it. Bank accounts are another way. Open a new bank account. And Chase has the same thing where they offer bank accounts. So, all right. So let's look at some of the questions here. So if you guys have questions, comments, please post them in the comment section or in the chat box, and then we can talk about some of the different things. But overall, I mean, I think this is the best case scenario that they're doing right now. Now, if they start, like I said, if they start cutting these points down to 25,000, then that's really going to hurt a lot of people. Okay, Adam's coming from Seattle. How you doing, Adam? Tim's coming from California. How you doing, Tim? Lionel, Chicago. How you doing, Lionel? And let's see, 7. What do we have here? Tier bonus sucks. Never gonna spend $10,000 for an extra 20,000 points. Yeah, some of it depends on the tiers. Now, like I said, overall, the way I look at it is, if I get the card, I do my research. If I'm gonna go ahead and get a credit card, and I want to make sure that I can use this card long term, and I want to make sure that the tier is good too. Because I agree with you, 7. I'm not going to spend $10,000 to get 20,000 bonus points. But if it's a card that I'm going to keep long term and a card that I know I'm going to use a lot, then let's just put it this way. The way my structure is now, the way I use points is I'm using my credit card instead of using my debit card. So all my purchases are going to be on my credit card. I'm not going to change the way I purchase things. So I'm not going to purchase more just because I have a credit card, but I am going to use my credit card. So it's just a matter of which credit card am I going to use, right? So in certain situations, I'm going to use a card that's going to give me the best value or the best earn possibility, so the best points. Okay, let's see. I can wait. Okay. Let's see. Hyatt minimum spend right now. Card is great so far. It was upgraded 5 nights so far. Okay. So Adam's saying that he's liking the Hyatt card. And let me talk a little bit about Hyatt, because I really like Hyatt. I like Hyatt properties, but I do have some issues with Hyatt. So the properties are always nice. I've never been in a property that I didn't like as far as it wasn't clean or the customer service was bad or anything like that. And I've stayed at Hyatts all over the world. And so that's a good thing. The bad thing is they're not all over. They're not in a lot of places where you have Marriott and you have Hilton. They're pretty much all over. So there's certain places that I've gone, and I've talked about this in previous videos, but I went to Medellin, Colombia. They didn't have a Hyatt there. I think they were building a Hyatt in Bogota, Colombia, and they just built a Hyatt in Cartagena. So they're getting around. They're increasing their properties, but they're not all over. So if you're going to go to a major city, for the most part, they'll probably have a Hyatt. But if you go to some of the smaller cities, they might not have a Hyatt. And so that does hurt when it comes to putting all your, like getting a card like this and having all these points built up on this card, and then you get to a point where you can't use them because they don't have a property in your area. So that I don't like. The other thing I don't like too is not all properties will allow you to use points. So that hurts too, because for instance, I live in Southern California. I go to San Diego pretty frequently. When I go down to San Diego, there are a lot of properties out there, 5 or 6 different Hyatt properties. But there are only a couple of them that I've been able to find that will allow you to use the points plus cash. And that's what I like to do a lot, use points plus cash. And what that is I can use a certain amount of points, let's say, and I'm just giving you an example, but let's say I use 6,000 points, and then I pay, it used to be a set fee, like a set, you knew what it was going to be. It was like $125 and 6,000 points or something like that. So it depends on the category. So I was able to do that. Now they've changed it a little bit, so now it's half the price of that night's stay, which I really don't like, because that fluctuates. It could be in your favor if the room is only $100 a night. Well, yeah, that's in your favor. But if the room is $200, $300 a night, then now you're going to be paying $100. You're going to be paying $150, and it's not set. I like it set. I like to know, okay, I'm going to spend. It used to be $50 for category 1, $55 for category 2, 50 or $75 for category 3, or something like that. But it was a set number as far as the cash went and as far as the points went. So I knew exactly how much money I needed to spend. But now it fluctuates. So, oh well, whatever. But they don't always offer the points plus cash, and some hotels won't even offer just straight points. So you can't use points to redeem a free night. So that really hurts in certain situations. Like I'm planning a trip right now to Kauai. I'll be going to Kauai in late June. So looking at some of the different properties, you look out, they don't offer points. So you can't use your points for a free night. Or you might have a free night and you can't redeem that free night. So if you get that annual free night, you can't redeem it because the hotel's not accepting it at this time. So those are the things that I don't like about Hyatt. But if you can get in a Hyatt property, you're probably going to be pretty satisfied because they're nice. I mean, I have not been in a bad one yet. I've stayed in one in Paris, Costa Rica, Aruba, and that was just last year. And they were all nice, and they were pretty much, the layout was the same, so you kind of know what you're getting. And in Paris, I stayed at the Hyatt Regency Etoile in Paris, and that place I highly recommend, if you're going to go to Paris, I highly recommend staying at that hotel. If you can afford it, I got a really good deal, but the fact that it's not right in the middle of everything is a good thing. And when I say in the middle of everything, like you're not in the heart of the city. You're a little bit a ways away, but you can see everything, the Eiffel Tower and all that. But it's good because you're a little bit away. So if you want to go to anything, there's a subway right underneath the hotel. So you just jump on the subway and it'll take you right out. It takes like 10 minutes to get down to the Eiffel Tower and all that stuff. But it's good because now I can just shoot out to all these different places. I don't have to deal with all the traffic and everything. So I highly recommend that place. The food was excellent. They had a breakfast buffet that I had every morning. At that time, I was a globalist with Hyatt, so I was able to get free breakfast. That's another thing I don't like. Hyatt, you have to be at their highest tier in order to get free breakfast, which some of the other programs, Hilton, and I don't know about Marriott, but I know Hilton, you don't have to be at top tier in order to get free breakfast. So with Hyatt, you have to be top tier. So I was top tier at the time, so I was able to get free breakfast, and their breakfast spread was it was amazing. If you check my channel out, I've done a few videos on Paris, and I showed kind of their whole layout. It was pretty impressive. All right, let's see. Let's go over some more questions here. Let's see. So Kai says limited properties. Yeah, Hyatt does have limited properties, as we discussed. 7. This is bad. Spent $9,000 to get 50,000. It's not 9,007. It would be a total of 6,000 in 6 months, and that's the way that I read it here. Let's look at it one more time to make sure. Yeah, you spend $3,000 on purchases within the first 3 months of account opening. Earn an additional 25,000 bonus points after you spend 6,000 total on purchases within the first 6 months. Yeah, so the 6,000 would be total. So that's what they're saying. You have to spend 6,000 total in order to get that additional 25,000, giving you the full 50. But I mean, what they're doing is pretty much saying, just look at it like, well, they're giving you an extra 3 months, but you're still spending. Like a lot of people would just, and I'm one of them too. Like I just got a card. I just got the Chase Ink Unlimited card, and I use that card. Now I have another business card, and so I have the Chase Ink Business Plus card. I use that card for pretty much my cable, internet. I have a home-based business, so I use it for all that stuff. And I don't really have a need to use a Chase Ink Unlimited card unless it doesn't fit in that category and it's business related, so I get 1.5 points per dollar using that card. So that's the only time I use that card. Now I use that card, I hit the bonus, and right now I haven't used the card in the last month and a half. And like I said, I won't use it unless I need to use it in order to maximize my points. So that's what they're doing here. They just don't want you to use that card, hit the bonus. I hit the bonus. I got my 50,000 bonus points within that first 3 months, and now I won't use a card until I really, really need to use it. So now they're giving you that, okay, well, you spend more, and then you'll get more points kind of thing. So let's see. And I want to know what you guys think about it too. So keep letting me know, like post in the chat, like what do you guys think about it? Is it good? Is it bad? Would you do it? What are some other cards that you guys use that also have this tier bonus? Okay. Let's see here. 7, the credit card companies really want us to use the cards. They should give us bonuses at the end of every year. Okay, so 7's talking about giving bonuses at the end of the year. And I agree with that. You give us something, you give us a reason to use a card, and most people are going to use a card, as long as it makes sense. And if you just make better cards, when I say better cards, I mean make cards that have better earn possibility, people are going to use a card. Like there's some airline cards that have terrible earn possibility. I mean, it's almost a joke. Like some of these airline cards where they're giving you 2 points for every dollar spent with their airline, 2 points for every dollar spent. So most people, anyone who has a Chase Sapphire Reserve or Amex Platinum or higher tier cards, and even like I was saying, the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. It's not a high tier card. It's $95 annual fee. You can get an airline card that's $95 annual fee, and with their airline, they're only giving you 2 points for every dollar spent. The only thing you're going to benefit is you get a free bag, but everything else there's really no benefit. So I'm going to use a Chase Sapphire Preferred over the airline card because those 2 points per dollar are stronger and more valuable than these 2 points per dollar with the airline. So make better cards. People will jump on those cards and they'll use it. And we just saw it with the Amex Gold. People were jumping all over that card, and that's because it's giving you 4 points, or was it 4? Is it 4 points for every dollar? Yeah, 4 points for every dollar spent at grocery stores. People jump on that. Why? Because a lot of people would use that card at grocery stores to get 4 points for every dollar spent. All right, let's see. Does a higher card give you points for referrals? I believe they do, and I do have a referral link. I think I put a referral link on here. Just to let you know, like in my description, I always put like the cards that I have and the referral links. So it would definitely help me out to help out the channel as well. But I think they do have a referral link. As far as a referral I don't know exactly what the bonus, I haven't even checked. I don't know what the bonus structure is. Is it the same bonus structure, or do they just give you 50,000 flat out? And that's another thing that they should consider too. Like, you have people who have cards already. The best people to sell that card to someone else is someone who has the card already, right? And that's using the card and that can tell you, hey, yeah, this is a good card. So why not change that bonus structure? So don't have it a tiered bonus, but give them 50,000 bonus points. So it's more of an incentive for the person, the customer to get, the new customer to get the card, and then an incentive for the person who already has the card to kind of reach out and say, hey, if you want to get this card, it's great. You should get it with my link because you get 50,000 bonus points after spending $3,000, as opposed to getting it with the generic link where you have to spend $3,000, you get 25,000, then spend another 3,000 and get another 25,000. So, all right, let's see, what else do we have? Use all my cards monthly. Okay, so that's Kai saying that. Casey, do you ever see a future with get rid of welcome sign up bonuses for monthly bonuses? So Casey's asking, do you ever see a situation where the companies will just give up the sign up bonus, the welcome sign up bonus, and then give you like monthly bonuses? I don't know. I mean, that might be a little too complicated for people. I think people love to see those big numbers, and so like they love to see I know, I'll speak for myself. I love to see 50,000 bonus points after spending $3,000 within 3 months. That's easy for me. But if you start kind of breaking it down and saying, just for example, you spend $1,000 every month and you get 10,000 bonus points, it just makes things a little more, it doesn't look as good. But when you look at those big numbers, like I can remember when I had the Chase Sapphire Preferred and I was still new to Travel Reward credit cards. And then when the Chase Sapphire Reserve came out, I thought I would never, ever spend $450 for an annual fee for anything. And I couldn't, it didn't compute with me. But when they put that card out and they put that 100,000 bonus points, I said, okay, well, yeah, I got to get this card. And so that's what I did. I jumped right on it. That's the first card that I got that was actually the only card. I still haven't gotten the Amex Platinum yet, so it's the only card that I have that has that high annual fee. And now I don't even think about it. I don't even blink when it comes to time to pay it because I know that card gives me way more value than that $450. So, yeah, when they give you those big numbers, yeah, I think that's more effective, and I'm sure they know that it's more effective when you see 50,000 as opposed to saying, okay, every year you're going to get, or every month you're going to get a bonus, depending on how much you spend, if you can spend $1,000 every month. And plus, let's face it, there are a lot of people that they churn cards. So that's their whole game. And if you change that, then then people are going to do one of two things. They're either going to go along with it or they're just going to stop getting cards. And then if they stop getting cards, then the credit card companies might say, okay, well, we need to kind of change our structure or change our plan. All right, let's see. Okay, so Seven's answering a recession question. So Kai put that. We'll see. We will see. That'll be interesting. And I don't know I didn't have credit cards, Travel Reward credit cards back in 2007, 2008 when we had our recession the last time. So I don't know how that all works. If you guys have any info on that, please post in the chat. If you guys had cards at that time, I wasn't into travel and stuff. So I don't know how credit card companies respond to that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens if we do go into a recession. How does that affect the bonus structures? How does that affect Travel Reward credit cards and all that? Hilton Gold gets you free breakfast and upgrades when available. So Seven's saying that as far as Hilton. So like I was saying, Hilton Gold, they give you free breakfast. Hyatt, you have to be globalist status, and globalist status now you have to stay 60 nights, and that's tough. And I will tell you, I never stayed the 60 nights. I was lucky enough that when they made that transition, I had the I was the diamond with their old program, Hyatt Passport or whatever they call their old program. So I was a diamond with with their old program, and the old program was 25. I think it was 25 stays, and a stay could be one night, but if let's say you stayed 2 consecutive nights or 3 consecutive nights, that only counted as one stay. So what a lot of people were doing, and I did it a few times, is let's say you're going to stay at a hotel, a Hyatt hotel. You stay at the one Hyatt property for one night, and then you go to another Hyatt property for another night, and then you're going to stay 3 nights. You go to another Hyatt property for another night, and then you get 3 stays, as opposed to if you just stay at one Hyatt property for all 3 days, you're only going to get one stay for that. So I was lucky enough to I already had that status with Hyatt, and then they switched over to the World of Hyatt. So they grandfathered me in, and I was able to get the Globalist for 1 year. But I couldn't keep up with 60 nights. It's just, it's, I don't only stay at Hyatt properties. I like to stay at Airbnb properties as well. So I wasn't able, I just couldn't keep up with 60. And even this year, I'm at the Explorer, so I dropped down to Explorers the year after that. And then this year I'll be in Explorers again. I think I have to check all my numbers. I'm not even sure, but with Explorers you don't get the free breakfast, so it doesn't. It's kind of irritating because in most situations that for me when I travel, free breakfast is a big thing because either free breakfast or going to Airbnb and kind of do your own grocery shopping and having a little something to eat in the morning, because usually it's good to get up. You don't have to get up early or anything, but just get up, eat breakfast, and then go about your day, and then eat lunch and dinner if you want to do it that way, or just eat like at dinner time. Don't even eat lunch. Kind of snack until you eat dinner. I don't know. That's just kind of my routine when I'm traveling. That's kind of the way that I like doing things, and it just saves you so much money if you get that free breakfast because all you need to do is go downstairs, eat a little something, and then go on with your day, and then you can eat later on that day. All right, let's see. Let's see. How you doing, Mystique? I've been in CSP for life, but really been thinking on Chase Sapphire Reserve. Should I do it? So Mystique Eric is saying that he's had the Chase Sapphire Preferred for forever, and now he's thinking about getting the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and he's asking me if it's something he should consider. And then Seven says Chase Sapphire Preferred is better than Chase Sapphire Reserve. Okay, well, I'm going to disagree, Seven, and it depends on how you travel. So it depends on what you do. Like if you travel a lot, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is a better card, and the reason why is and when I say a lot, let's just say 4 to 5 times a year. I consider that substantial. As far as when I say travel, I mean airport travel, not just driving from point A to point B, driving down, like I live in Southern California, driving to Vegas or driving here, driving there. But if you're going to the airport and you do it 4 to 5 times a year, then I would say that Chase Sapphire Reserve makes sense. You have the free lounge access, so you have the priority pass, so that's good. You have the travel credits. You get $300 travel credit every year, so that's good. You get the 3 points for every dollar spent when you're going to restaurants. The 3 points for every dollar spent for travel. So it's a good card. And if you don't travel that much, Chase Sapphire Preferred is an okay card. You're not going to get the lounge access, but you'll get 2 points for every dollar spent for travel and 2 points for every dollar spent at restaurants. So you can still earn points, but the Chase Sapphire Reserve you can earn a little bit more points, and then you have the lounge access. And I'm telling you, and I think it also gives you the TSA pre-check TSA pre-check every 5 years, so that's good as well. But having lounge access, even if it's not the greatest lounge, Priority Pass they don't have the greatest lounges, but just being able to be away from everyone else is good. And it's changed the way that I feel about actual travel. Like there are a lot of different things when it comes to travel. There are a lot of different stresses, and one of the things that I look forward to is getting to the airport early. In the past, I never looked forward to getting to the airport early. I wanted to get there, get through the line and get to the terminal in just enough time so I can get on the plane. Not, I mean, give myself a little bit of time, but I didn't want to have to sit and wait in the terminal all that time and spend money on all the different stuff that they have there. So it's nice to have lounge access, and I do look forward to, now I'll look up what lounges they have available at whatever airport it is, and I'll get there early. And it's just more relaxing. I'm not stressed out. I'm not thinking, oh, I'm going to miss my flight and all that. I can get to the airport early, go to one of the lounges. In most situations, you can tell the people at the front desk, this is where, or they have the information anyways because they have to check your ticket. In a lot of situations, they will come get you and tell you, hey, your flight is boarding, that kind of stuff too, just in case there's a situation where you might fall asleep or just not be focused on you might lose track of time basically. And so they'll remind you, hey, your flight's going to be boarding and all that. So it's a good thing. So that's just my opinion. But you do need to travel. Now, if you don't travel a lot, you're not going to get the real good value out of the Chase Sapphire Reserve. If you don't use that lounge access, then you're not going to get value out of it, I think. And then also the travel credit. I think in most situations, the travel credit, most people can use that travel credit. It's $300 and it goes pretty much toward anything. You don't have to be really traveling. I mean, you can use it for Uber, you can use it for hotel stays locally, all that stuff. Okay, let's see. I'll be hitting the 6,000 minimum spend next week to get the 60,000 bonus points. Okay, so is it Jam? Jam has the old, he was under the old Hyatt bonus there, so he'll be getting 60,000 points. So, and then what did you say? Been using it to pay my rent, phone bill, and internet. Okay, so, and he's been using it to pay his rent, which is not, there are different ways that you can do that, but paying rent is not like a normal thing that you can just pay your rent with your credit card. Usually you have to go through some loopholes in order to get that done. So he was able to do that. So if you can work out a way where you can pay your rent, your mortgage and stuff like that, your car payments, then it makes it a lot easier to do to hit the minimum spend. But it doesn't always work out that way. So you have to really figure out a way to do that. So in Jam, if you could post in the description how you paid your rent, that would probably help out some people as well. All right, let's see. Kai, Amex, you can refer yourself. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. So Kai's saying you can refer yourself on Amex with Amex. So if you want to get the Amex Gold, you can refer yourself and get the 50,000 points as opposed. I don't even know if they're still doing the 50,000 points. I haven't checked, but I know they upped it to 35,000 points now for the generic. So if you just go on the website, it's going to be 35,000 points. But if you get the referral, in the past, if you got the referral, you can get 50,000 points. Okay, Lionel, 4 points for restaurants, too far, Amex Gold. I don't know what you're saying, Lionel. Okay, let's see. And Seven saying he loves to see the 100,000 bonus points. Yeah, it's when you see those, and they've had a few for Hilton. Yeah, and I haven't jumped on the Hilton one yet. Ultimately, I need to face reality. Although I really like Hyatt, I'm probably going to look at some of I've stayed at a few Hiltons and I wasn't happy with them, so that's what's really kind of pushed me away from Hilton. And Marriott, I haven't really looked into Marriott too much, but in the future, I like Hyatt, but will I stay? Will I continue being loyal to Hyatt? I don't know. I'll have to see. Maybe if Hyatt did actually no, they're not going to do that. I was going to say if they did 100,000 bonus points, yeah, they're not going to. Well, maybe if they had a higher tier card, that would be something. That would be interesting because you can have a higher tier card, maybe charge $250 annual fee, and then get you ultimate or like get you Explorer status just right out the bat, and then give you some other benefits. I think it would be a card that would be worth getting. Okay, everyone, smash the like button. Yeah, Mystic. So if you guys are here, please hit the like button. That way it'll show in the algorithms. It'll push it out to more people, so more people can jump in and start participating. Let's see. 7 for people that don't travel. Just get Fidelity rewards. Get unlimited 2% back. Okay, so you can get points. Seven's talking about Fidelity getting that rewards card, and you get 2 points. It's like a cashback card, so you can do that. And there are a lot of different cashback cards. If you are getting a credit card and you use it the right way, where you pay it off every month, it makes sense to get one of these cashback cards. Like if you don't travel a lot, so not everyone travels, right? So if you don't travel a lot, why would you get a travel card, right? You can get these cashback cards, and business owners do it all the time. They have a lot of business expenses. They're trying to pay off everything at the end of the month. So they'll use these cards, and they can get these percentage back. So they'll get cash back, and then with that cash back, they can purchase other things. So if you're doing high volume stuff, it really works out because now you're 2% on $10,000. That's good, right? That's just extra money, that extra 2% cash that you can pull out. So it does make a lot of sense. You don't have to just travel. You can get cards that are just cashback cards that will really get you good value. For me, I'm into the travel stuff, so that's why I'm getting the travel reward cards, and I'm not really focused on these cashback cards. And if I do get a card that's cashback, I like to tie it in with like uh, the Freedom cards. Like I'll be downgrading my Chase Sapphire Preferred to a Freedom card. And the reason I'm doing that is Chase Sapphire Preferred and Chase Sapphire Reserve. Chase Sapphire Reserve does everything the Chase Sapphire Preferred does. So I don't need the Chase Sapphire Preferred anymore. I don't even use that card. So downgrade it to something that I would use, like an ultimate Chase Freedom. Gosh, the Freedom Unlimited or the Chase Freedom. The Chase Freedom is probably what I'm going to go with because they have the 5 points for every dollar spent. They cap it off at I think it's $1,500 every quarter, but it gives you different categories every quarter that you can spend on. So that's probably the way I'll go. The Freedom Unlimited card gets you 1.5 points back on on all purchases. So that's good, and I don't think it caps out. And so those are cashback cards. But if you have a Chase Sapphire Reserve or a Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can complement those cards, and I can transfer those points or use those points as ultimate reward points because I have the bigger card to do that. You have to have the bigger card, though. You can't just have the Chase Sapphire Freedom. Or, I'm sorry, you can't just have the Chase Freedom card or the Chase Freedom Unlimited card because then it's just a cashback card. All right, let's see. Let's see, 7. Hilton lounges are nice. Breakfast plus afternoon tea. Okay, and yeah, and 7's talking about Hilton. So 7 really likes Hilton. I had a good experience. Like I had a couple of bad experiences with Hilton, and then like 3 weeks ago, I went to Las Vegas and I stayed in a Hilton, and it was really nice. So I'll look more into Hilton, and they always have I just said about the bonus. They have a lot of or not a lot, but they have cards that have bonus structures that are nice, like sign up bonuses that are really high. Now it takes more points in order to stay at a Hilton, so you're going to use more of your points. The point values aren't the same. Like Hyatt points are more valuable than Hilton points. And when I say more valuable, basically your points at Hyatt will go they'll go further than your points with Hilton. So you might see, okay, I have 100,000 points with Hyatt and I have 100,000 points with Hilton. I might be able to stay 2 or 3 nights with Hilton, but with Hyatt I can stay more nights. And that's what I'm saying when it comes to that. Now, and I've said this before, it doesn't mean anything. You can have points that are higher valued, but if you can't use them, it doesn't mean anything. So let's say if I were going down to San Diego and I had 100,000 points with Hyatt and I have 100,000 points with Hilton, and then I look to book my room with Hyatt and there's nothing available, well, those points don't mean anything. But if I have 100,000 with Hilton and I look and I'm able to book with Hilton, then now those points, they're more valuable in this situation. So it's kind of a case-by-case thing. You have to look at it that way too. All right, let's see. 60 nights times $200 equals 12,000. Yeah, so seven is just kind of breaking it down as far as how much money you really have to invest into a Hyatt property. Now, what Hyatt did do, one thing that I did like about what because they've been kind of really tweaking the World of Hyatt program. One thing they will allow now is free nights. So a free night counts as a night stayed. So that's good. So now if I have a free night or if I have a few free nights, I use those free nights. It counts as a night that I stayed there. Whereas in the past it didn't. So if I used a free night, it didn't count toward my status. My night stayed. So they're doing that now. So that's good. It doesn't. It's still. It's what I might have 5 free nights if I do like 5 free nights for the year. Like if I use points and stuff like that to stay free nights, maybe I get a total of 5. So I'm still going to be spending a lot of money at their property. Okay. East Bank is tough cookie. Let's see. Okay, so Kai's saying he uses plastic to do the rent. I think you're talking about the rental stuff, using the rental card or paying for rent with that. Let's see. Yeah, use plastic to pay your rent if collected by a company. Okay, so for those of you who want to look into paying rent, you can get a plastic card and then work on trying to do that. Do it that way. I don't have any experience with that. I don't know how. Like I don't. I've never done that before, but that's an easy way to hit your minimum spend. I'm sure with plastic, you're probably gonna have to pay some type of percentage to them. So you are kind of pulling you are taking some value out of the points that you get because you might have to pay a percentage. So just think of it that way too. All right, so at seven saying you stay at Airbnb. Yeah, I stay at Airbnbs. I don't know what you guys think about Airbnbs, but I'm pretty sold on them. I think they're a good opportunity in a lot of situations. They're it just gives you more. It gives you more of it gives you more options. And if you're staying with more people, if you're staying with like a group of people, then it's by far the best way to go. Staying in a hotel, I personally like to have my own space when I travel because I like to be around people, and when we're out doing stuff, that's all good. But I like to be able to kind of go back to my own space, and I do a lot of video editing and stuff like that. So I'm up late sometimes. I don't want to be waking people up and all that good stuff. So I like to have my own space. So if it's me and my buddy or me and a few friends and we're traveling somewhere, it's just better to have Airbnb. You can have your own room, and you don't have to be in the same room with everyone. So that's just the way that I see it. Now, if I am in a situation like recently when I was in Thailand, it was perfect because or not rent, but the hotel was like $50 a night. So I had my own room and my buddy had his own room. So it worked out that way. So we really had our own space in that situation. But Airbnb, definitely something that I don't have issues with. I did initially when I started doing research about it before I stayed in Airbnb, but now I'm okay with them. I think they're pretty good. Let's see. I would recommend Amex Platinum over Chase Sapphire Reserve. So that's 7 saying that. And Amex Platinum gets you some things that Chase Sapphire Reserve doesn't. They're both great cards, and you just have to kind of look at where. The main thing that I would look at is the travel partners, and if you look at the travel partners, hotel partners, if you like flying on United, then you might lean toward Chase Sapphire Reserve. The Amex Platinum gives you some really good benefits, like you get the Centurion Lounge. So you just have to kind of look. If you do your research, then you can kind of figure out, okay, well, yeah, you know what? I like that hotel, or I like that airline, or I just like the earn possibility with this card. Or so you have to look at all that. If you that's how you kind of figure that out. They're both great cards, and the Amex Platinum is $550. The Chase Sapphire Reserve is a little less at $450. So take that in consideration as well. Let's see, 7 City Prestige over the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And I did a video on that, 7, and that I like the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I do. And City Prestige, the first card that I ever got was the City Preserve or Preferred or whatever they call that card. What is it called? No, Premier. City Premier. That's the first card that I ever got. And the card's okay. Travel Partners, I didn't really like. So that the whole thank you points, I'm not really. I don't like their airline partners. So that's why I jumped into the whole Chase ecosystem, and I've been happy with them. But I started out with City, and I would have gone to City Prestige and stayed in that whole ecosystem. But I just didn't like the airline partners that they had. So. And I still, to this day, I feel that Chase Sapphire Reserve, that ecosystem is better. All right, let's see. Can you have both the SPG and Marriott cards at the same time? Now that, I think they just switched it over to where it's just one card. Don't quote me on that because I don't really know much about that whole setup that they have going. But I think, at least I think they combine the points now, so they're all kind of the same. But that SPG card back in the day was the card to get because they had their own little transfer partners, and that was a real good card. But I don't know exactly what's going on with the cards right now and how you use the cards. I think they combine. I think I remember reading somewhere that they combine those cards together now. And if you don't know, SPG was a hotel chain, or not hotel chain, but, well, yeah, I guess it's a hotel chain. And you had Marriott. Marriott bought SPG a couple years ago, and they've been kind of working out the whole point scheme and that whole setup. And so now I think they've gotten to a point where the points are all combined together. Let's see, only one bonus point. Let's see, 7. City Prestige equals 5 times travel, 5 times restaurant. Wait and see the sign-up bonus. Yeah, and that's what I think everyone's waiting on. So 7 is just talking about City Prestige. You get 5 times points on travel. You get 5 times points at restaurants. And then we're waiting to see what their sign-up bonus is going to be because they haven't really announced it yet, which is strange. And I thought it was supposed to be January 4th, but I could have read that wrong. But they haven't said anything about a bonus structure. And it'll probably be a tiered bonus structure, just like some of the other cards that are out now. So that's probably what's going to happen. Now, if they want to compete with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, although their earn possibility is really good, they're still going to have like a 50,000 bonus point, I would think, in order to compete. Now, like I said, 5 times travel, 5 times restaurants, that's excellent. And then you get the 4th night free. You can at least do that for 2 times a year. So the card looks really good. The only problem that I have is the transfer partners. The airline transfer partners, I don't really like them. So that's the only issue that I have with them. Okay. Some Hilton hotels are just $10,000 a night. Okay, so that's Walker's saying that as far as the Hilton. So yeah, you can get some pretty good deals. Now, the reason, and like with Hyatt, there's some that are even less. They're like 5,000 or 6,000 now a night for their category 1s. So you can really maximize your points with Hyatt as opposed to Hilton, but Hilton's in more places. So like I said, ultimately, if they don't have a hotel there, then you can't really compete, right? If you have a Hilton here and you don't even have a hotel, then I spend 10,000 points here to stay at Hilton, but I can't even stay at a Hyatt there. So that's where Hilton wins out, I think, overall when it comes to the comparing the two. Now, I personally, like I said, I like Hyatt, so I would even look to cities where Hyatt is and stay there as opposed to staying in a Hilton in the city where, because I can always, when I travel, generally I'm not just going to stay in one city. A lot of times I'll go stay at one city and then just travel. When I went to Costa Rica, we stayed at a Hyatt in San Jose, and every day we were just traveling to all the different areas. So we weren't staying in we would drive for like 4 hours. I think was the longest that we drove. So we drive 4 hours to a certain place, take pictures at sunset and then drive all the way back. That's what we were doing pretty much every day when we were there. And in Costa Rica, things are really spread out, especially if you want to go to some of the different attractions and stuff. They're not all right in one place. So we had to do a lot of driving. Let's see. So Eric says the Freedom has a cap of for 5%. Yeah. So yeah, it's $1,500 cap, and that's every quarter. Uh, the the unlimited card though, the Freedom Unlimited card is 1.5 points for every dollar spent, and that's just it's unlimited, so there's no cap on it at all. So that would fit in categories. And I have the Chase Ink Business Unlimited, and the Chase Freedom Unlimited and the Chase Ink Business Unlimited are kind of the same setup, but the business card is the business side, and then you have the personal card, the Chase Freedom Unlimited. So they work kind of the same. They don't have an annual fee, and you can use that card for anything that doesn't meet the category, doesn't meet a bonus category. So if you're not going to get 2 points per dollar or 3 points per dollar, let's say if I go to the grocery store, I don't have an Amex Gold, I go to the grocery store, I can use the Freedom Unlimited there because I get 1.5 points for every dollar spent, as opposed to just getting 1 point for every dollar spent. So, and every point matters. Like you're thinking, oh, well, it's only half a point more. In the big scheme of things, overall, if you think long term and you look at your stats at the end of the year, then you're going to see that, yeah, it does matter. It matters a lot. Okay. Let's see. All right, 7 put the Amex, the offer up there. Okay, so is that the Amex Gold one? If I click on it, what does it do here? We'll see what that comes up with. And if you guys, just so you guys know, there are a lot of different blogs out there that talk about a lot of these different topics. I'm going to start featuring some different blogs when I do these streams, and just talk about some different things, more up to date info about things. And just there's so much information out there for travel reward credit cards. It's amazing. Like I was able to get on and just for 3-4 months, I just did my research before I got my first card. And there's so much stuff out there that will help you. I think live streams are really good because it's more, Q&A. I can look and if I don't know the answer, there are a lot of people on here that might know the answer, so they put it on there, and it just opens up a lot of different discussion. I find that when I do a video and I'm just kind of reviewing things or what have you, I don't know what people have questions about, but here it's instant, and that's what I like. And in the future, I'm going to start doing reviews of cards, kind of like I did here, but just a live stream review of the card and then question and answer, and we can do it that way too. It's a lot easier than posting a video and then people will ask questions after they see the video. They'll put it in the comments, and I usually can't get back to them right away, or I might not have the answer, so I can just tell you. If I don't know the answer, I'll just tell you, hey, I don't know this answer. So at least you know right off the bat. It's not like you're posting a comment and then you're waiting for days on end, and then you find out, oh, he doesn't even know the answer to it, and then you have to look further or do more research. So I don't know. I just find this is a better way to do it. Let's see. Thanks about an upgrade before the next trip. Okay, yeah, and if you guys do have links and stuff like that, feel free. You should be able to post them. I don't think they block it. If they do block it, then let me know, and I think I can open it up. But if you do have links, I'm not opposed to you guys posting stuff like that too, as far as like travel credit cards and stuff like that. Okay. I saved over $500 with Amex offers last year. Okay. And another thing too, like once you get these cards, and I just did this with a friend of mine, and you can get like if you have a card, like I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and so they will allow me to refer a friend, right? And the good thing about referring a friend is you can get points. So I have a friend that she's been hitting me up forever because she sees me traveling all the time. And so she hit me up like, what's going on? How are you doing this? Because we work together, so we make the same amount of money. She knows how much money I make. So she's asking me, how are you affording to travel? Like every 3 months you're going somewhere, and not just going, not just driving somewhere, you're going out of the country. So I told her, I sat her down, I said, look, this is how I'm doing it. I get this credit card, and at that time I only had a couple of credit cards, but I got the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I got this bonus. I got 50,000 bonus points. With 50,000 bonus points, I was able to fly here, use those points to fly here. I paid out of pocket like $80, and then I used it for here, and then I paid out of pocket this amount of money. So I was able to kind of walk her through how I was doing it, and she was just all like, wow, this is crazy. And so I referred her. And so if you have a card, like you have a Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can refer people, send them the link. They click on the link. All they need to do is sign up. And once they sign up and they get the card, it takes a little bit of time. Once they get the card, then you'll get bonus points. You'll get, like, I got 10,000 bonus points for that. So you can get bonus points out of that. And it doesn't cost, there's no extra, thing that they have to do as far as the person who's signing up. There's no extra fee or anything like that. It's just the credit card company will reward you if you get someone else to come in. And so just something to consider. If you do have a card, do that. And like I said, in my description, I put them out there. The links that I have, I'll put them out there. It's the same link that when you click on that link, it's going to take you it's going to take you to the same website, but it has the little information for the person who referred you, just so the bank knows that this is the person that was referred. But it's also a good way to earn some extra points for your travels. So let's see. Do you know if you stay at 5 different Hyatt brands, is it one free night towards status or one free night? Okay, so you're asking about okay, so, and I've done this. So they have this program, or not program, but they have this, what do you call it? Like promo, where with Hyatt, if you stay at 5 different properties, then you get a free night. And I did the 5 different properties free night. I got one, and it's not a free night toward, I think what you're saying is it a free night towards status or a free night certificate. So it's a free night certificate. So you actually get a free night if you stay at 5 different properties. I shouldn't say properties, 5 different brands. So if you stay at a Hyatt Place, a Hyatt House, a Hyatt Regency, a Park Hyatt, and there are some properties that are just Hyatt, just a Hyatt property. So if you stay at 5 different brands, then you get a free night. And so I was able to do that. I qualified for that. I did it once, and I stayed at a Hyatt, and that's in Palm Springs. It's just a Hyatt, and then a Hyatt Place, Hyatt House, and Hyatt Regency, and then one other. I stayed at like a Conrad's or something like that, I think it was a Conrad's. I think it was a Conrad's that I stayed at, but they actually honored that as a different brand. So that's kind of how that works. But yeah, you get a free night. It's not like a free night toward your tier status. It's actually a free night redemption that you can use. Okay. Jam, my apartment allows you to use credit card with 1.9% fee. Okay, so Jam is saying that he's able to use his credit card to actually make his rent payment, which is good. But you have to understand, like he says, there's a so basically 2% fee that he's paying to do that. So to hit your minimum spend, you can do that, but you have to understand you're paying a little bit extra. So you're taking a little bit of that 50,000 bonus points or whatever the bonus points that you're going to get. You're taking a little bit away because you're paying a little extra. But if you are in a situation where you don't think you can hit a minimum spend, or if you have a couple of cards that you're trying to hit a minimum spend at the same time, well, then this makes good sense if you have a situation where you can use it for rent or use it for your mortgage. You can do that. Let's see, how many cards do you have that offer a free night on anniversary? Just curious. So Walker, I'm sorry. I only have one card at this point. So I have the Hyatt, the World of Hyatt card. So that offers me a free night. That's the only, usually it's the hotel cards that you would have to have. And The Hyatt is the only hotel card that I have at this time. And I'm still looking, kind of thinking, okay, maybe I can get a different hotel, but get a different hotel card, like stay at Hilton. Hilton's kind of the one that I want to get. I'm not really focused on Marriott, but I am focused on Hilton. That's where I want to go. But I just want to have, I don't want to get a card and then start jumping into that ecosystem and not be really happy with the properties. So it'll probably take me a couple more stays at Hilton's to figure out, okay, well, is this worth it or is it not worth it? So that's kind of where I am right now. But Hyatt's the one that I have now. I've been okay with it, with the combination of Airbnb. I'm fine. Like it's I don't find myself thinking, oh well, if only I had a Hilton card, or if only I could stay at Hilton. If I had Hilton points, I'd be better off. I don't find myself saying that at all, because if it's not a Hyatt, there are always Airbnbs, and Airbnbs, they're I've had some good experiences with them, so I'm okay with it. Let's see. Do you also bank with Chase? Okay, so V, was it V Torch? So he's asking me, since I like the Chase ecosystem, do I bank with Chase? I like the Sapphire banking. I don't have the money to do the Sapphire banking, and I don't bank with Chase. I bank with another bank. Um, and it's something that I should consider. And they make it easy for you now because they have all these bonuses where you can get $300 for opening up a checking account or opening up a business checking account. So in the future, I might do that. But you know how the banks, you have your direct deposit and everything is set up to one bank, and it's one of those things I don't even really think too much about it, because my I've been with the bank for so long, and the direct deposit is kind of the thing that kind of pulls you in and keeps you tied in there. So I don't want anything to go wrong with my my check coming on time and all that. So I've just been fine with that. Now I do have a business, and I might open up a Chase business account, so like a business banking. That might be something that I'll do in the future. Right now, I'm just using my, which I shouldn't be doing, but I'm using my personal bank account. But eventually, I will branch out, so I will need a new bank account for that. So I might use a Chase account for that, because they have that bonus. So that's another thing I'm looking at too. And I get emails all the time. And I think I just got an email about the Chase business checking. You get $300 if you open up an account and put, I think, $1,000 in there or something like that. So something I'll look into. And I've heard people who have Chase accounts say that they get approved more often if you have a Chase account and that kind of stuff. So that could be true as well. How many cards do you have that offer a free night? Okay, we already went over that. There are tons of sites on YouTube channels talking about credit cards, but very few about travel, very few about reward travel points, tickets, etc. Okay, so Seven's just saying that there are a lot of YouTube channels that talk about credit cards, but there aren't that many that talk about the travel reward card and stuff like that. And that's true. Um, there's some there. It's still kind of, people don't know about, like, they don't, I don't, how can I say this? People want to, people are interested in it. I think there's an interest there, but I think it's just a lot of people don't want to do all that research and I'll be honest with you, like, I'm not all into the travel reward credit cards. I'm into the travel. And so in order for me to travel, I have to do my research with the credit cards, because I've never been one to say, oh, I want to get this credit card, that credit card, this credit card. But now that I see that I'm able to travel by using these cards, that's the only reason that I'm really into the whole travel credit cards and all that. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. There are a few channels that are out there right now that they're more into the numbers, the credit cards, and this is this and this is that, and you can do this and this, and they have all that info. Like, I know about the cards that I use, and then I'll do research on cards that I might be interested in getting in the future. But there's some people who have 20, 25, 30 cards, and so they can give you all the personal knowledge of I use this card, I use this card, I have this card, I have this card. That's not me. I'm only getting the cards so I can travel, and so I don't have a wide knowledge of all these different cards. I hear things. I read the blogs and all that stuff, so I do have information about certain cards that I might not have. But yeah, there are not too many channels on YouTube that talk about it, and there are a lot of blogs though. That is, you can get on what's it, Boarding Area. If you get on boardingarea.com, I think it is, they have a variety of different blogs that just talk about all the different travel cards and travel points, and this card's better than that card, and the point values and all that good stuff. The Points Guy is another great website that you can look at, a blog that pretty much goes over all that information as well. So there's the information's out there, but the channels, yeah, it's not, no, they're not too many. So that's kind of how that goes. Let's see your thoughts on the new Centurion lounge restrictions. I haven't looked into that. What's it all about, Sharon? Because I heard about it, but I don't know what the restrictions are. So maybe we can talk about that if you can put some stuff out there, and I can tell you what I think about it. Now, I haven't been in a Centurion lounge yet, so that's something that the reason to get an Amex Platinum card. And once I do get an Amex Platinum, I'll definitely start going into those lounges, obviously. But they don't have a lounge in Los Angeles yet. They're building one, so once they build it, then I'll probably jump on that card. But right now, I haven't gotten the card. Let's see here. Have you ever stayed at Park Hyatt? Park Hyatt. No, I have not stayed at Park Hyatt yet. And they're not very many. They don't have very many. I think they have one in San Francisco. I want to say in Los Angeles they opened up a Park Hyatt, a new one. But I'm not going to stay in Los Angeles. It's just that's a waste of points. So I want to stay. I want to stay somewhere. If I stay at a Park Hyatt, I want to stay somewhere where I'm not like at home. Let's see. 7 Conrad is Hilton. It wasn't Conrad though. Let me look at that hotel. It was. It's funny because when you go on Hyatt, they the thing about Hyatt, if you guys don't know, Las Vegas, MGM Mirage they partner with Hyatt. So if you type in Las Vegas as your destination, they'll show you all these different hotels on the Strip, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not a Hyatt property. Well, they partner with them, so you can book your stay through Hyatt there, and then you can also book your. In some situations, you can use points and stuff like that too. Let me see what that hotel was though. That was. All right. So keep the questions coming. I'm just gonna put this in real quick. Try to find out what that hotel was. Okay, now I don't see it. Hold on. Maybe it was this one. No, it wasn't that one. Nope. Yeah, I don't even see it. I just remember it was, and I think they changed it. They were switching it over to a Hyatt property, but it was bought by Hyatt, so they were still offering the stay. So maybe it wasn't Conrad, but it was something. Oh wait, hold on. It was. I can't think. When I remember it, I'll tell you because it's on the tip of my tongue now. God. Oh man, I can't think of it. Once I remember it, I'll tell you. But I can't. Okay, I'll tell you when I remember. All right, let's look at some more of the questions. I hate that. Don't you hate that when it's on the tip of your tongue? You're like, okay, I remember, and then I lost it. All right, so 3 hours max in the Centurion Lounge. Okay, 3 hours max, huh? Wow. Okay, Centurion Lounge. So Sharon's posting all this stuff here. Will limit 3 hours or less prior to original schedule departure time flights. Also, Centurion Lounge access will no longer be permitted upon arrival. Oh, so they used to let you do it. Okay, well, that was actually generous of them to do because some lounges won't let you do that. Where basically Sharon's saying that they're limiting it to 3 hours, so you can't stay there longer than 3 hours in the lounge. And then they're not allowing you, like, if you arrive somewhere, they're not allowing you to go to the lounge and hang out. Like, let's say there are a lot of situations where, let's say I get to the air, or let's say I get to my destination, and I can check into my hotel at 3 o'clock, but I get there and it's like 1 o'clock, or I get there and it's like 12 o'clock. And so I have a few hours. So what do I want to do? Do I want to go to the hotel and just sit in the hotel for a couple of hours, or just go to the lounge and relax for a couple of hours, then get going and go to the hotel? So they're not going to allow you to do that anymore. A lot of lounges, like priority lounges, in a lot of situations they won't let you do that, because they check your ticket. So they'll see that you just arrived, and so they won't let you do it. There are some situations where you can always try it, and I've never tried it, but I've heard people say that they just try it and they let them stay if they want to stay. But Centurion, they're not going to be allowing you to do that anymore. So I guess they were allowing you to do it in the past, which is really good because it just allows you somewhere to stay and not have to sit at the hotel. 3 hours, yeah. So the 3 hour limit. I guess my feeling on that is I personally usually don't spend more than 3 hours in the lounge. That's just me. There are some situations where you have a long layover, and when I was in China, coming back to the U.S., I had an 8 hour layover, and that was brutal. And I just went in the lounge and I hung out in the lounge the whole time and took a little nap and ate, they had a buffet there, so I ate some food and just relaxed. But yeah, I very rarely will stay in a lounge for more than 3 hours. So that probably won't really affect me. If I had a Centurion Lounge access, it wouldn't really affect me. But I think it's a good thing in the sense that I don't know how Centurion Lounges are, but you go to some of the Priority Pass lounges and there's just too many people in there, and there's just people everywhere. So limiting the amount of time will at least allow you to get in there, have a seat, get what you need, get some food, get on the internet, and then go about your business. And with the Amex Platinum, you have Priority Pass and you have Centurion Lounge access. So you can go into, let's say you want to do it Priority Pass, go to a Priority Pass lounge. That's there for a couple of hours. Let's say you have a long layover, go there for a couple of hours, leave, then go into the Centurion Lounge for 3 hours, and then get on the plane or do whatever you need to do. So you do have other options. It's not just, if you have an Amex Platinum, you don't just have access to Centurion Lounge, but you also have the access to the Priority Pass, and then you also have, what is it, Delta? I think it's Delta, but you have to be on a Delta flight, I think. I don't know how that works. So you do have Priority Pass, so you do have other lounge access in that situation. Let's see. Last changes I found that over 2 years old is considering a guest card holder limited to bring 2 additional guests. Let's see. Oh, okay. So seven's basically saying consider a guest card holder is limited to bring 2 additional guests. Okay. think I understand what you're saying. So if you have an additional card holder, like a guest card holder, are you saying that there's two, you can get two additional guests with your card? And this is, I guess this is for Centurion that Seven's talking about. Let's see, what is the best credit card for Airbnb? Oh God, that's a good question. I don't know what cards get you any value with Airbnb. If you guys know of a card that gets you value, please post it in the comments or in the chat. But I don't know of any card that will get you value. Now, I would think, and don't quote me on this, but I would think that if you have like a travel credit with, I'll say Chase Sapphire Reserve, or even the new City Prestige, if you have a travel credit, I would think the Airbnb would be a part of the travel credit. So if you're booking something online and you're using the Chase Sapphire Reserve and you have that $300 credit, that you would be able to use that toward Airbnb. But in most cases, Airbnbs are so reasonable. I'm really picky about when I use my points. So if I can get a good value just off the bat and not have to use my points, then I'll do that. So if I'm staying in Airbnb and I can get good value, I'm paying $50 a night, or if I'm staying with a friend and we're paying $100,000 or $100,000, wow, that'd be a nice room. If we're paying $100 a night and so it's 50-50, then in a lot of situations, I'm not gonna use my points, because I want to save those points so I can get the most value out of those points. So if I can afford to stay at the hotel and it's $50 a night, or even if it's $100 a night and I'm only staying maybe 3 or 4 nights, I'm not going to use points. I'm going to use my cash, save those points for when I need to travel over to China or travel to New Zealand or long distance travel. Save those points for that airfare, because that airfare is going to be really expensive. So if I can use points to fly to these different places, then that's what I want to do. And then usually when I use points to fly those different places, I'm able to stay or fly business class or fly first class. And it just makes that whole travel experience that much. There's no issues, hopefully. And it looks like I'm in focus, so that's good. All right. Let's see. Javier, what's the best credit card for Airbnb, by the way? You always use transfer partners, or do you use the Chase Sapphire Reserve travel portal sometimes for redemption? Okay, so Javier, you raised a good point there, or a good question. So do I always use travel or transfer partners, or do I sometimes use the travel portal? So I never use a travel portal. I always use transfer partners. So you're going to get the best value if you use the transfer partners, as opposed to doing the travel portal. And when I say, just so everyone understands kind of what travel portal, so let's say you have the Ultimate Rewards points, so you have a Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Sapphire Reserve, you're in that ecosystem. The other ecosystems are the same, so Amex, they have their ecosystem, the membership rewards program, and then the city thank you points. So they all have portals. And when you have a portal, basically, let's say it's just like going to Travelocity or any of these websites, but you just log in to their portal and then you can book your travel that way. So if I book travel through the portal, it's pretty flexible. So I can say I want to fly from Los Angeles to New York, and it's going to show me the different flights, and it could be a variety of different airlines. But the value that I'm going to get, it's like 1.5 points per dollar or something like that, redemption, or 1.5 points per, yeah, something like that. So you're getting value, but you're not getting that much value. If I go with the transfer partners, I can really maximize my value. And so and the reason why you can maximize your value is in a lot of situations, I fly business class when I do that. Business class tickets are pretty expensive. So if I use points and I transfer those points directly to that airline's going to have a certain structure. They're going to say, okay, for a business class flight, it's going to cost 75,000 points for a one-way ticket. It'll say something like that. I'm just giving you an example. So that's 75 1,000 points, I can transfer from my Ultimate Rewards program directly over to the airlines. Let's say it's United, and then fly business class. And that business class seat could be $2,000 or $3,000 in certain situations, if you're depending on how far you're flying. Now, if I go on a travel portal, that same 75,000 points, which is equivalent to, I can't do the math in my head, but maybe 15, 12, probably about 1,500 points or $1,500. That's $1,500 in points that I can use to book a business class seat that might cost $2,000 or $3,000. So you see where you can get more value if you just transfer directly to the partners, and then it'll be 75,000, which the equivalent is not. It's not the same. So I very rarely use a travel portal. Actually, I never use a travel portal, but I would recommend not using it. And the only situation where I would use it is if there's a flight that I need to catch, I need to go somewhere, I can't be flexible, and I don't want to use cash at all. If I'm in that situation, then I get on the travel portal and I just say, okay, I want to go to Las Vegas, and do it that way, use the points that way. But you're going to lose some value out of those points. So I like to fly business class or first class when I'm flying long distance. So 10-hour flights, I like to fly business class or first class, just because I want to be able to relax. I want to be able to sleep if I need to. And I found that in the past I've been able to use points, and I've been able to do that and with no problem. So that's kind of the way that I go about it. But some people don't care about flying business class. Some people are perfectly comfortable flying economy. And even if you fly economy, you can still really get a lot of value by just transferring the transfer partners. I showed in not last week's stream, it wasn't last week's stream, but the stream before that. So a couple weeks back, where I went on United's website and I just showed you how many points it would cost, or how many points you would need to use in order to fly to Colombia. And that was an economy flight. And then I also showed how much it would cost, like cash, how much you would pay cash. And so you can kind of get an idea by looking at that, just to see, okay, yeah, you can get better value if you just use the transfer partners. It's a little more work. It's not as easy as a travel portal, but it's not that much more work. It's not what you're thinking, like, oh, if I transfer to the transfer partner, how long does it take to get there? It's pretty instant. Like, it takes 5 minutes. Like, you send the transfer through, it'll take you 5 minutes. My routine is I usually will jump on the airline website, and I'll find the reward seat that I want. So that's what I do. I do that first. I don't transfer the points first. So let's say I want to fly to whatever destination, Puerto Rico. So I want to fly to Puerto Rico. I don't transfer my points over to United right away. What I'll do is I'll look on United. I'll see what value they have. I'll look at some of the other airline carriers, and you can also look at the airline partners. And so I look to see what the best value is going to be, and then I look to see that they have the reward seat. Once I see that they have the reward seat and I'm ready to book the flight, then I'll go back to my Ultimate Rewards program, my Chase account, transfer the points over to whatever airline I want to fly on, and then from there, then I'll book the flight. So that's a routine. Don't transfer the points first, because what you have to understand is once you transfer your points over to United, you can't transfer them back to the Ultimate Rewards program. So once I transfer to an airline carrier, they're going to have those points in the airline on the airline website, or that account. I won't be able to transfer them back. All right, let's see. Okay, so 7 saying it's not that easy to redeem points for business tickets. That's true. You have to be, with anything, when it comes to points, you have to be flexible. And if you're not flexible, then you're going to run into some problems. So if you're able to be flexible, you can use those points. And when I say flexible, not just flexible on when you fly, but also flexible on how you, like, if I'm going to fly business class, I might not get just a straight shot. I'll probably have layovers, and those layovers might be, some of those layovers might be pretty long. So you have to understand that you're going to have to be flexible. but it's worth it. And as long as I, and this is me, as long as I have lounge access, I'm fine. I can deal with it. So if I'm flying to wherever I'm going, if I have a long layover, let's say 4 or 5 hours, as long as I have lounge access, I'm okay. I'll get, because even if it's, let's say it's a 4-hour layover, right? You're thinking 4 hours, that's a long time. What am I going to do for 4 hours? Well, usually the planes are a little late. My experience, they're a little late. You get there, if you have to go pick up your bags, I usually have my carry-on and my personal items, so I have everything with me. Then you go pick up your bag. If you have to do that, that might take some time. Or if it's a connector, you don't have to pick up your bag, that's fine. But by the time I walk to the lounge, get comfortable, get a little something to eat, relax. If they have a shower, if I can find a lounge with a shower, that's a perfect time to take a shower. So once I get kind of relaxed and everything, it's about time for me to get up and get back to the terminal so I can get on the plane. So it's really not that long. Like 4 hours isn't that long. Now, like I said, I stayed 8 hours. Now that was long. 8 hours is a long time, especially when you're tired. Like I was, that whole flight in total from Thailand back to the U.S. it was 33 hours with that 8-hour layover in there too. So I was pretty tired, but I mean, you just have to look at it in a situation where you can kind of split your time up and you'll be fine. And I haven't really, even that 8-hour layover, I was still okay. I was in a lounge, so I was able to relax and kind of lay back, and I took a little nap and all that. So you're still able to do, you can still be okay. And in some airports, they have the little, if you want to go this far, which I tried to do it when I was in China, but I couldn't find them. And I asked someone and they didn't understand what I was saying, so I just left it alone. But they have these hotel, like at the airport, they have these little hotel things. There's a little room that you can pay per hour or whatever and stay there, and it has a bed so you can sleep and all that. So that's another option if you want to do that. But you have to be flexible. If you're not flexible, you're not going to be able to use a lot of these points, because usually, let's face it, the reward seats usually are not going to be the best flights, because I'm not going to say they're losing money, but they're not making money on you with these flights. So if I'm flying business class, usually I'm going to have a few connectors and all that, because it's not going to be the easiest route, because the easiest route are going to be the tickets that they're going to try to charge their customers more for. So yeah, they're not easy to get. Business class isn't easy to get, but you can get them. Just be a little flexible. All right, let's see. I'm not sure if you've done it before, but can you do a video on how to transfer partners? I'm still learning about point transfers. Okay, Sharon, I have done a video on transferring, and let me find it for you real quick, and then I'll post a link so you can check it out. And it was a pretty basic one. Maybe I'll go into more detail in the future about how to do that. But it's so easy. I mean, it's very easy. If you have, what cards do you have? And I can kind of better direct you as far as how to do it. Because if you have like Chase cards, it's really easy, and they're pretty much all the same setup. Where basically what you're going to do is you're just going to go on the website, your credit card website, and they will have the ultimate rewards wherever you can see your points. And I just click on where you can see your points, and then from there, then you can pull up the partners. And when you pull up the partners, you're pretty much going to link. So you have to have an account. So let's say it's Hyatt, right? So let's say I want to transfer my points over to Hyatt. If I have to have an account with Hyatt, so I have to be a part of the World of Hyatt program, they'll have a number, right? They'll give you a number. And when you have that number, then you put that number you link that number to your Chase account, and then it will recognize that that you're a member. And then in the future, all you do is just tell how many points you want. Let me find this video real quick. It'll tell you how many points that you want to transfer over. You put the points in there. You just hit transfer, and it literally takes 5 minutes, no more than that, and those points will be in the account, and then you can use those points. Let me find this really quick here. It's very hard for me to do two things at once, so I'm gonna have to focus on this for a second to find it. But yeah, it's not a hard thing to do. But like I said, make sure you know that you want to book. And what I did the first time that I did a transfer, because I was nervous, because it's a lot. We have points on the line here, and you don't want to transfer points and then those points go to the wrong, I don't know, go to the wrong account or something like that. So I did just transfer 1,000 points the first time that I did it, just to make sure that it worked. And then after that, then I made the big transfer. And I did have one situation where I was transferring, I believe it was to United, and I transferred 70,000 points, and it didn't show up right away. So like, it wasn't like a 5-minute thing. It wasn't a day thing. It took over a day for it to actually go through. And it got to the point where I got nervous, so I called United, or did I call Chase? I think I called Chase. I didn't call United. So I called Chase and let them know, hey, this is what I did, and I don't see the points. And so they said, oh, well, let me look, and they looked into it. And then 5 minutes after that, then it showed. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it got lost somewhere, or it was like in like a pending status for whatever reason. I don't know, but yeah, it should happen with Chase. I can speak for Chase because I do it all the time. It should happen within 5 minutes. Let's see, Google Flights. Just looking for it real quick. Yeah, I did this video a while ago, and I'll probably do a new one, just a more up-to-date one, because this was like the old Hyatt program, not even the new one that we have now. But when I'm ready to book another flight, I'll make sure I record that, and then I'll show you guys. All right, here we go. I think it's yeah, there it is. Okay, and it works the same. This is Hyatt, but it works. It's the same setup for any for all the different transfer partners with Chase. It works exactly the same. So let me post this here for you guys. Let's hope that link goes through. I'll just check it out real quick. So, okay. Oh, that's weird. Is that not it? I don't think that's it. Hold on a second. I don't think that's the right link. Let me look here. Okay, yeah, that's it. All right, so yeah, so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. If you guys have any other questions or anything, I know we kind of had an interruption in between. I apologize for that, but I just wanted to kind of talk about the whole tiered structure, and we are seeing this tiered structure now. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping that ultimately it's still at 50,000 points. As long as it's at 50,000, I'm okay. But if they start dropping down like 25,000 over across the board, then that's going to be a problem for me. So we'll just have to see what they do with that, or how they remedy that. Okay. And Sharon, if you have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section after this video if you think of something else. But ultimately, I mean, points do work. You do need to be flexible, but they do work, and you can really do a lot of travel with them. I mainly use my points for airline travel. Some people like to use it for hotel stays, but and I will on occasion use it for hotel stays if I'm staying at a Hyatt or something like that. But For the most part, I'm using it for my air travel because that tends to be the most expensive thing that's the thing that I spend the majority of my money on. And if you want to travel in luxury or if you want to travel first class, business class, I personally could not afford to pay for those tickets to travel. Like if I'm flying out of the country, business class, those are pretty expensive flights. So that's where I really jump on and use the points. And so that's kind of how I go about that. Or if it's long, like even if I'm flying to Hawaii, if I can work out a business class flight to Hawaii, I'll do that just because it's a little more comfortable. Even though that flight from Los Angeles is generally about 6 hours, I still might consider doing that. But for the most part, if I'm going to be flying like Thailand, China, um, countries that are 10 hours or 10 hours plus, Paris, areas that are far away like that, then that's when I'm really going to jump on and use the points to get business class. Okay, 7, I don't really care the tiered bonus because nowadays I only open new credit cards if I have a great sign up bonus. Okay, but part of that sign up bonus now might be tiered. So that's what 7 was saying. He only really looks for the good sign up bonuses. And don't, and like, there's another thing too, like, I look at I don't just look at the bonus, um, the sign up bonus, but I look at the value too. So there are some cards, IHG, Hilton, where they will say, "Oh, we'll give you 80,000 bonus points, or we'll give you 100,000 bonus points." But I want to see what that can get me. So if it can't get me, if like IHG, if it costs more, 30,000 to stay at one of their properties, I take that in consideration. So they're giving me 80,000 bonus points, but it's going to cost 30,000 points in order for me to stay at the hotel. So I can get 3 nights out of that, 3.5, as opposed to if I get another card, a Hyatt or Hilton card, where I can, let's say the bonus is 50,000, but now to stay at a Hyatt, some of their properties I can stay with 5,000 points. Well, then I also look at that too. So uh, don't just get too excited or overly excited if you see 100,000 bonus points. You also want to do your research to find out what you can really get with that. And it's the same way, just with Hyatt too. Like if you're looking at getting a Hyatt card and you see that 50,000 bonus points, you think, oh, that's 50,000 bonus points. I can use 5,000 points and stay for, I think, what do they say, 10 nights? I think you could stay up to 10 nights with Hyatt. The only problem with that is, and the research that you need to do and find out is, where are their hotels? Are you going to be able to utilize the hotels that they have? Are you going to be able to use? I should utilize that. Use. You're going to be able to use the hotels that they have available, and check out those hotels to see if they allow you to use points, because not all Hyatt hotels will allow you to use points. And I think that was the most frustrating thing that I found when I started using points with Hyatt, is they didn't, not a lot, but there's some of their places didn't allow you to use points, and that is so frustrating when I pull up a property and I'm thinking, oh, I could stay here. Oh, they won't allow me to use points, or they won't allow me to use points in cash. And points in cash is the best. That's a really good option. And if you are in a situation where you can't stay at Airbnb, like if I'm traveling and I have to room with someone, then I'll book it, points plus cash. I'll use my points. He uses his cash. This is the way it used to work. It worked out well. I use my points, he uses his cash, and now I don't have to pay any cash out of pocket. So, and I'm still getting a better deal than if I were just to go to the hotel and book it. So that's how I feel about that. Let's see. My view, it's worth the transfer partners for economic domestic flights. I have both UR and MR. When I compare transferring to United versus Chase Portal, they look similar. Same thing for Amex Portal. Oh, okay. So, so you're saying partners for economic, or wait. Let me read this one more time, my view, just to make sure I understand exactly what you're saying. For partners for domestic flights. Economic domestic. Okay, so you're asking me if it's better to use transfer partners for uh, economy domestic flights. I think you're saying. I have both UR and UR. I compare transferring to United versus Chase Portal. They look similar. Um, I okay. Let me just say this. When it comes to domestic flights, and this is the way that I work it, domestic flights. If I'm flying from Los Angeles to New York, it's about a 5 hour flight. And in most situations, I'm paying for that out of pocket. There are very few situations where I'm gonna use points to fly domestic, and that's just the way that I work it because I want to save those points. Those points could be 25,000 to 35,000 points that it would cost me to fly a round trip from Los Angeles to New York. So I'd rather save those points. And so I generally will just pay out of pocket. I don't want to waste those points. I want to use those points on something where I'm flying internationally. So I think what you're asking here is when you're looking at the portal, the travel portal, and then you're looking at the actual like transferring your points, the value looks similar. I will say that it's kind of a set rate, and I'll on our next stream, I'll kind of go into and we'll look at some of the different how many points it because I don't know just out of my head I don't know exactly how many points it takes to transfer from or to travel from Los Angeles to New York. So we'll look at that. We'll see how many points it costs, and then you have to kind of look at the value of if I'm using the travel portal, how much it costs as opposed to using to just transferring your points directly to United. But in situations like that, it's not really. I never use my points for domestic flights, and so I'll just that's one of those deals I'll pay out of pocket. So I can't really give you an honest answer when it comes to that. And if you don't travel outside of the country and you only travel domestically, then maybe it makes sense to use the portal. I don't know. I'd have to look into that, but uh, I want to save my points, and I highly recommend if you do travel outside of the country, save your points for those trips. And even if it's one, like let's say I travel 4 times a year, and even if I'm traveling, like I like to go to Colombia a lot, and I use that as an example all the time. The flight to Colombia, $400, $500 usually. So if I'm in a situation where I want to go to Colombia, there's a lot of times where I won't use points because I don't need to. It's $500 ticket. It's not that for me. I'm looking at hey, $500. That's not that expensive. I can go ahead and pay that out of pocket. Or if I really want to save money, or if I'm looking at saving money and I don't have that $500, well, why not use points to fly up and then use cash to fly back, or vice versa? So that's kind of the way that I look at that. But if that ticket is under $500, I'm usually just going to pay cash. I don't see a need to use my points because if I go to Thailand or if I go to Japan or Australia, it costs a lot of. I mean, it costs a lot of money to fly their economy. Like an economy ticket's going to cost you 1,300 and up to fly to those different destinations. If I use points, sure, I might be using. If I want to fly economy, I might be using 80,000 points or 70,000 points to fly domestic or to fly round trip, but I'm saving. Ultimately I'm going to be saving money. So that's kind of how I look at it when it comes to that. Let's see. If you don't know, $500 is better to not travel. If you don't know, $500 is better to not travel. I don't know what you're saying, Seven. If you don't know, $500, it's better to not travel. Okay, so yeah, that's my view. That's the way I look at it. I kind of just look at that whole situation. If it's for me, if it's less than $500, I'm good with paying cash. If it's more than $500, then I'm gonna look at using my points. And domestic, yeah. And honestly, when I want to travel, I generally don't. travel domestically. I usually go outside of the country because I just find it when I want to travel somewhere, I want to go somewhere new, somewhere that I haven't seen before, somewhere that I haven't been before in the U.S., all that stuff. So if I've been there before, it's not really intriguing for me to go. Okay, let's see. 7. Sorry, I meant to say if you don't have $500, it's better to stay home. Yeah, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, if you don't, it's 7 saying if you don't have $500, it's better just to not travel at all. And I agree with that because you will need some money if you travel, especially when you get to the whatever destination you're going to. So, yeah. Let's see. Is there any card you want? So Javier is asking, is there any card that I want right now? The United Explorer card is the next card that I'll be getting, and then after that, then I'm probably going to get the Amex Platinum. Those are probably the next 2 cards that I'll be getting. But I just, like I said, I take my time when it comes to cards. Like I have points right now that are already. I have enough points for this year for travel. So I should be able to travel comfortably without getting any other cards. But I plan to fly on United for my next few trips. So that's why I'm going to get the United card. I have the American Airlines Advantage card. I still have points on that card. Or I should say points in that program. The points are not actually on the card. They're in the Advantage program. So I'm keeping that because I am going to use those points up. And then once I use those points up, then I can go ahead and get rid of that card. But I want to focus on United. I just like United's. I like their customer service better than American Airlines. So that's the switch that I'm making there. And then with the Amex Platinum card, I haven't decided if I'm going to get the business card or get the personal card. And so the main reason that I'm waiting on that card, I'm just waiting for the lounge at LAX. And once I get that, then I'll probably jump on that card. And then once I get the platinum, then I might start looking into getting more into the Amex ecosystem and getting the Amex Gold and then kind of working that ecosystem. But right now, there's no, like for me, I don't have any real rush to get cards. Like there was a time last year where I needed points and I didn't churn the cards. I still did my research. I knew I was going to have these cards for long term, but I got a couple cards just so I can get some points so I'd be able to travel comfortably when I went to Thailand because I wanted to fly business class to Thailand because I knew that was going to be a long flight. All right. Let's see. Do you want a referral link to the Amex Platinum? Javier, yeah, you can send me a referral link. I'm not getting the card right now. It's going to be a while, so probably a couple months. But yeah, I'll use. If you guys do have referral links, I have no. I'll help you out. You help me out, I help you out. That's the way it works. So, yeah, you can send me a referral link. Just what you want to do though is put it in the. Or probably because I don't know how the chat works. I don't know if I know you can see it when you watch the video, but I don't know. If you put it in the comment section, it'll probably be better. All right, let's see here. Javier, would you only get the Amex Platinum for the $100,000 offer, or is it still the $60,000 worth? So he's asking, would I only get the Amex Platinum if it's a 100,000 sign-up bonus, or is the 60,000 sign-up bonus still worth it? I think the 60,000 is still worth it. Obviously, the 100,000 is what we would all want, but I think 60,000 sign-up bonus is still good. Yeah, and then he's talking about Amex Gold. They're only giving 50,000, and that's a referral link. 50,000 sign-up bonus with the referral link. So that's for Amex Gold. If you just go straight to their website, I think right now it's 35,000. So Sharon asks, do you use your points to fly one way and pay out of pocket the return? I've heard some people say that's what they do to fly first class. Okay, so no. Well, when it comes to business class, first class, I generally don't do that. If it's an economy seat, then I'll do that. And I don't know if you heard what I was saying, but Sharon was just asking, do you usually pay, let's say I pay for the flight up and then use my points for the flight back, or vice versa? If it's a business class seat, it's generally pretty expensive. Like, just for example, the first class, I flew first class from Paris back to the U.S., and that one-way ticket was $6,500. I used points, and it was like 70 or 75,000 bonus points is what I had to use. So I say bonus points, 75,000 points. So 75,000 points is what I had to use to fly back. So I would never, I wouldn't be able to afford that $6,500. So we're talking, what is it, $13,000 to fly a round trip first class from Paris. So yeah, I would, very rare. I wouldn't do that. But if it's an economy seat, pretty reasonable. Yeah, I'd do it all day. So I would fly up, or what I do too is, let's say I'm flying, I need to position myself. Like in Colombia, I do this. So I fly up to Florida. So from Los Angeles to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, I'll pay for that ticket, round trip, right? And then from Fort Lauderdale to Colombia, I'll use points, or just something like that. Or I'll use points to do the first part of it, and then, because really, realistically, to save money, I would use points to fly to Florida. So from LAX to Florida, and make it the whole round trip. So use the points, and then the flight out to Colombia, I can pay cash, and it's cheap. It's like $200, maybe $300 for a round trip ticket, because it's only like 2 hours from Fort Lauderdale. So I would do that, and you could save money that way too. There's so many different ways you can just be flexible and try to figure out exactly how to work it. But I'm not opposed to doing that, using points and cash when I can. I want to try to save my points for the long flights. So that's my main focus. And if I already have planned out and I know, okay, I want to go to Australia this year. Well, if I want to go to Australia, I know I'm going to have to. I know that airfare is going to cost a lot. So I'm going to try on my other trips. I'm going to try to use cash if I can, because I need to save them up for this big flight. All right, let's see. I'd wait for the targeted 100,000 points. Yeah, and I would too. And that's Justin saying that. So as far as the question before was about Amex Platinum, would you is the $100,000 offer? If you can't find that, is a 60,000 point bonus, sign up bonus. Is that still good? I would say yes, it's still good. But if you don't have to get the card right away, there's no reason. Don't get the card right away. Wait and see if you can find that. See if they put the 100,000 bonus, sign up bonus out there, and then jump on that when they do. Let's see. Okay, so Seven says there's a referral for 75,000 bonus points with Amex. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Amex Platinum there. And let's see. Okay, so Seven saying go to cardmatch.com to see if there's a 100,000 bonus offer. That's good. I've never even gone to that site before. So if you go to cardmatch.com, I guess they show you some information about sign-up bonuses. Let's see. I think 7. Fortunately, not seeing the $100,000 offer. Okay, so Justin's asking me about status with any airline. I've reached status with Mosaic, with JetBlue, and I had that status for a year. I don't have it any longer. But the major air carriers, no, I have not reached status with them. It's hard to hit that status with some of these airlines. So United, American, and they've changed, and Delta, they've changed their structures too, so they make it where you really need to spend a lot of money. So my buddy, we travel together, and he's reached status with American Airlines because he flies first class and he pays for it. So he's paying out of pocket $6,000 for certain flights and things like that. And he's had a horrible experience with American Airlines. Um, but he's still, I mean, he's kind of, how can I say it? He's paid so much money. He's invested money into him now. So he's has a little elite status. I think he has not the, not the highest tier, but I think the platinum is where he is, like the tier right under the highest tier. And he was able to do that with the same flights that I was doing on United. But the thing is, I'm using points, and so I'm not able to crew because I'm not hitting the spin. Like they have like a spin limit too that you need to hit. You can't just fly a lot. It's not like back in the day. It was like frequent flyers, so you can fly to all these different destinations, and depending on how far you flew and all that different stuff, you would get status. Now they've changed it to where it's kind of how much you fly and how much you spend. So he's spending a lot, so he's able to hit that status. I found, and this is just personally with me, when I was with JetBlue, it was okay. Like they try to help you out where they can. JetBlue doesn't offer some of the things that, I mean, they do have the Mint class, but you don't qualify for Mint class with Mosaic, so you can't fly like their business class. You get the even more seats, so you get extra space, which was really beneficial. So if I'm flying on JetBlue, I just need to use points, and it was, I mean, really minimal points. It came to like $10 for me to upgrade to the even more seat. So that was a pretty good benefit. But I just find, realistically, when it comes to all the different elite status, all the different programs, whether it be hotel or airline, you really don't make out that much. And you have to do a lot in order to make out. And just like, I think it was Seven that said earlier when we were looking at all the different, when I was talking about the Hyatt status, getting the globalist status, staying 60 nights at a hotel, and then you average that out to $200 a night, let's just say on average, or you're looking at like $12,000 that you need to spend in order to get this status. And then what does the status get you? You get club access, so they have like a certain area where you can go, and they have, it's kind of like it's like an airport lounge really. You kind of go in there and they have food and different things up there, and you have a little more access there, and then you get the upgraded rooms. But I found that when I had globalist status with Hyatt, there are plenty of times where I stayed at a hotel and they couldn't upgrade me. So that does happen. And then the funny thing is, I go down to the Explorer status, so the level below that, and I go to a hotel in Thailand and they upgrade me. So it just, you get some of the same benefits, and even with, so I'm not really focused on getting that high, that top tier status. I would rather use points and fly first class, know I'm flying first class, or know I'm flying business class, as opposed to having status and then trying to buy the cheapest seat and then hoping that they upgrade me to a business class seat. I would rather know what I'm getting before. And then if I know what I'm getting and I'm using my points, then I can choose my seat and all that stuff. If you're waiting for last minute, then you're going to take whatever seat's available. And so just things like that. I would much rather use points to do it than have an elite status. Let's see. So Dante's asking me if I've ever used any manufacturer spending techniques. I don't. I personally don't do that. I'm not. If I can't afford that minimum spend, and I know right off that I can't, then I'm not going to get the card. And there's some people that will get 2 or 3 cards at one time and then try to hit the minimum spend, so they start doing this manufactured spending where they're like moving money around and stuff like that. I don't do that. If I can't afford it, I'm not gonna get it, and I'm not gonna try to do the manufacturing spending. You have to be careful too when you do that stuff, because you can void your like, they can cancel your card, take your points away, all that stuff. So yeah, you want to be careful. Okay, I see the $75,000 offer, the Amex Platinum now. Make sure you are in private incognito. Okay, so he's just saying, Seven's just saying that you can see the $75,000 point offer if you're an incognito on Google. I don't know if you guys use Google Chrome, but I use Google Chrome for all my stuff. So go on the incognito and go through there, and you should be able to see that bonus. All right, so I'm going to go now. We've been talking for a little bit, but I'll be on every Sunday. I apologize for coming on a little late this Sunday. Just we had a couple football games on, and they were both good games, so I had to watch it to the end. So that's why I started a little late. But 7 o'clock is when I plan to do it, Pacific Standard Time, and we'll just get on and we'll talk about some different topics. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, save those questions for Sunday, and we can all talk about it. If you have any comments or anything like that you want to make, feel free to do it at the end of this video. Post in the comment section. And if you like this video, please give me a like, just so I know that I'm doing the right things. If you guys have any topics or anything that you want or you think that would be good to discuss, you can post it in the chat room now. You can post it in the comments below, and we'll talk about those as well. When I put out a video, which I will be putting out a video tonight, I have a new video just on credit cards. And if you have questions, not questions, but if you have questions or anything like that, just post in the comment section. I usually use those questions to determine what stream I'm going to do next. So if it's something that interests you, like I just put out a video last week that talked about the banks starting to reduce their sign-up bonuses, and then there were a few questions that came from that, and I said, okay, you know what, maybe I'll do a stream about just tiered, the bonus structure, the tiered bonus structure, and how that can affect if people are going to get cards or not, or if it's a good thing, bad thing, that. So when you guys leave questions, I try to answer every question that's left. Any statement, I try to at least acknowledge that the statement, or at least say something about the statement, and I use those to do my streams in the future, because that really kind of lets me know what people are interested in, what people want to know about, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, Javier, future travel trips. So you're asking me, wait, let's see. Okay, so I don't know, Javier, if you're asking me now, like where I plan on traveling. I'll just tell you right now, Colombia, Hawaii. Well, Hawaii trip is already set, and that's already planned. The Colombia trip, I'm working out the details right now, and I'd like to go to Australia this year. That's one trip that's probably be the end of the year, but that's something that I'm trying to work that out. But with Australia, I want to travel with friends. Like, there's certain places where if it's a new place, I like to travel with friends. The Hawaii trip, that's going to be with family. The Colombia trip, I might actually do a solo trip, because I'm trying to work out there are a few different things that I want to do in Colombia, like in the future, like photography related stuff. So I might just make I'll say quick trip, but like a 5-day trip to Colombia for that. And then the last trip, I don't know yet. So I'm going to do at least 4 trips this year, and then that'll be my year. Let's see, nice smooth stream. What equipment are you using? Laptop, etc. Okay, I'll talk about that in 1 second, Dante. Javier, meet up with subscribers in other countries. Let's see. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really cool. So Javier is saying, like, do a meetup with other subscribers in other countries. That would be nice. That's something that I probably plan in the future. That would be something cool. Let's see. Yeah, your future travels. Okay. December to February in Australia is summer. Okay, that's good to know. So if I did like a real late trip in December, that would be a good summer trip. Okay, so as far as if you guys aren't techies, then you probably won't want to hear this other stuff. But thank you guys all for stopping by. But I will talk about just the equipment that I use for my stream. Now, it took me a while to get to where I am now, because I had and you can check a few of my streams. You don't have to go back that far. There are a few streams that were just, even the last stream that I did, I tried to do video with it, and it just got out of sync, and I don't know what was going on. So the computer, I just got this computer. It's what is this? It's what the thing is this computer called? It's a Legion. It's Lenovo Legion. It's like a gaming computer, but it's good. It's good for my video editing and stuff like that. I also use the Camlink. So I use the Camlink little device, and I'm using a Panasonic G7 to record so basically what happens is, because I'm not using like I'm not using the webcam, or I'm not using like even a webcam that you plug into the computer. I'm using an actual camera. I need to have a video card that's linked to that. So what I'm using is the Camlink. So you hook the Camlink into the camera, and then you can use it just like a webcam. But the quality of the video is much better, and I can switch out lenses and all that good stuff. So that's why I use that. And then I use, for the software, I use a Streamlabs OBS, and that seems to be working well for this whole setup. And that's pretty much it. And I have I have one of these little Stream Decks too. I'm not using this right now. When I got the new computer, I never set it up, so I just have to set it up. So set the software up so I can use that. Basically, what this is, the Stream Deck, is you can just I can push buttons to go to the different screens without having to manually click on them. So I can kind of do it without even looking at it. And then Streamlabs OBS will allow me to do all this stuff on the bottom here. So with the little stream on the bottom, or the little ticker and all that good stuff, and then have the chat box and everything open there. So that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions about that, Dante, you can hit me up, and I can send you the info that you need as far as that stuff is concerned. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. Please like the video if you like it. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.